January 9th, I'm heading over to the 32 acres now to check on the two Eduardo and to his friend that are harvesting a myceo, which is a small corn, I guess, that's used to feed the chickens and the cows that give eggs and milk. And just there behind me, where I started the video from, is where the 5 cows will be coming back soon to they'll be staying here in the new season. And we're heading over now. It's another 10-minute walk, and this from the house here in the mountain to the land where recently power lines were put through. Just major power lines that run through the country, but not here. And so Lion Eagle, Pocahontas' father, the Southern Indian tribe here in El Centro, he had to cut a whole strip through his land. So on a positive aspect, now we have lumber to create a refuge, shall we say, or an abbey, and a place for elderly and those in need, and a place to grow organic crops and moringa, and to preserve the heirloom Indian seed corn from the scourge of genetically modified corn that destroys, when the flower touches the flower, the pollen touches the flower of the Indian corn, it destroys the genetic code for replanting. And so I'll push it on pause now and start again when I get to the edge of the property. Here we are at the edge of the property, near the village, where, as you can see, the power lines up there, telephone pole over there, recently put in. And this whole area had to be, you see all the down trees? This is a tree, it's called, I think it's caracho, and it's harder than oak. It's excellent for lasting for hundreds of years of construction. There's another, so all this wood is available for making creative structures, planning a large center, a home with 10 rooms, a large kitchen, and can be used as a place for the nearby elderly that are in abject poverty, and a place for visiting people from North America that would want to come and escape the winter and serve. So here's a lot of wood here to be used to create. You need a chainsaw for cutting it up, and Eduardo's over there right now cutting the myceo. We'll go by them. There's a couple of acres here that Lion Eagle, he's 83-year-old father of 18 children, 14 of which the last are ladies. This is the corn has been harvested. What you see, here's the myceo. That's what the chickens and the cows eat. And those 2 young lads over there are harvesting the myceo right now. A beautiful day. It's about 79 degrees here at 7 o'clock in the morning. Beautiful. Now this piece of field here, this land has been cultivated for years with chemicals like the fertilizer, and so this land has been adapted, and the seeds have been sadly adapted to just now earlier, before I started the video, one of the other older farmers has bemoaning how the corn has gotten so small over the years. When they started out, it was big, but now they have to add more and more chemicals, and it's getting smaller and smaller. So over here, on the other side of this new telephone wire, hello, hola, Eduardo and Luis cutting myceo. There's the new telephone pole. You can see the fresh ground here that Sends electricity to the cities on the other side of those mountains. Cutting right through Lion Eagle's land. We're down below. As you can see, there's a clear cut area because the next pole is across the mountain there. Several hundred feet high, those wires. They had to cut out that clear patch down there for the workers to run the cables. So now we have some fresh land down there. It's never been, virgin land has never been touched by any kind of chemicals or fertilizer. And there, we're going to locate some Indian corn seed that's not been touched, that's not been affected by the modern seed of the corn, hasn't been adapted to using chemicals and fertilizer. There plan is to preserve and multiply the heirloom seed, which will be very important in coming days on this earth. Another down tree here. For this part, you see that wire fence I just passed through, that kept the cows from coming down here in this untouched land. It's down here 16 manzanas, which is approximately 32 acres as I understand it. And Lion Eagle is a 83-year-old Native American that is not in love with mammon, shall we say. So he is delighted that his land can be used to preserve the old ways of the Indians and provide places of hope and refuge for the elderly and those that are destitute, menials and children. Here comes our neighbor with a load of wood. I was doing this the other day. I did about 4 trips hauling about 100 pounds of wood on my shoulder. After cutting it with a machete. Hola. No, estoy grabando ahorita un video para buscar apoyo para sembrar cosas y hacer un pozo. Está bueno, está bueno. Sí. Francisco. Coming upon the area here now is very fertile. And here's more downed hardwood trees throughout here. Ground is very fertile, dry right now, very fertile, and all in through there, and all down through this very slight grade is a place to develop and to build an abbey of work and prayer, if we should title the project as such. On down in through this level area here, next to the creek on the right, is available. It's 32 acres total. And out that way. The idea is to use this old rock wall that was built a few hundred years ago, to use this rock wall, goes on down through there, to build a center with the wood that's been cut, hardwood, to treat it and to cement it in the ground for the last hundreds of years, and to use the rocks in between the pillars. The idea is to make a hexagon-shaped center that has 10 rooms again, and a large area for cooking and just a community, family gatherings within the room. And there's space for building lots of other structure. But that's the initial idea is to, and here's a big tree that was sacrificed. Put that power line up. So this, to think how do you cut this up? We need a chainsaw. We need a good Husqvarna or Stihl heavy duty chainsaw. This wood is very hard. It's harder than oak. We need a few ripping chains and a few cross-cut chains. I'm taking you over now to the well. It hasn't been used in years. It needs to be repaired, and a homemade design pump. Actually, it's above the area of where down that way where we'll build the center. So it'll be gravity fed, but the other areas will need I'm thinking of a hand pump. Who knows? Perhaps in the future we'll get some alternative energy, solar, because very much sun here. Solar power or small wind generator, other forms of alternative energy. We welcome, encourage. Coming up on the most important aspects of developing any off-the-grid rural refuge of organic abundance and Word of God permeating. This is the well. As you can see, we got water down there. As you can see, also it's concrete. There's rocks about 6 feet down, and the rest of it is mud. You can see, if you can see on this side, over the years the mud has been eroding. So this well needs to be drained and cleaned out and added with more rocks so that the mud don't keep falling into the well. And so here's a pila. It was used for cows years ago. Now Iron Eagle is getting old, so yeah. There's a lot of his other relatives have gone off to the cities for the good life and left the better life. Well, that's a glimpse of this area. I'll head back to the house there now and push on pause and restart with the well that's there, where we want to start with the first handmade water pump. Again, you will see in the other video that says baby cow, I think baby calf, and water wheel. That will be the accompany the link that I send with this particular video. This is the river creek here again. This is the view across the clear-cut area for the power lines. And it's a lot of overgrowth too. It hasn't been. It's very virgin land here and down through that way where you're looking at now, where the first center can be built, the first edifice structure. 10-room, 6-sided, dome-shaped structure designed to last for hundreds of years. Rocks and very good hardwood that will treat to keep it from rotting over hundreds of years. Well, pushing pause. We'll see you in a moment. Here I am back on the trail, and I just come across Conception Mary. Her name is, and she's the lady that was hauling water the other day on her head 3 times. Where I'll put a pause. And estoy grabando para hacer un proyecto aquí, para hacer algo por publicación. Estoy dar cuenta ahorita usted otro día con tu cabeza con el agua. Sí, para ellos mirar y tocar corazones para quizás ayudar en una forma. Okay, so this is Mary Conception, her name is, and she lives right there, the chicken pen. She's the lady that came over the other day when I was cleaning out the other peel I'll show you next, where we need to put the first homemade water wheel so that she doesn't have to haul water on her head. She came with me 3 times, about 80 degrees, with filling filling up her 5-gallon bucket, and then she put a towel on her head, and I put the bucket on her head, and she walked off. And up about 400 yards up this rocky incline here to bring to her house, because there's no water pressure for 7 months out of the year. So we're looking at ways to improve the private water sources here on these 2 wells that we're going to see today in this video. Well, I'm going to continue on my journey here now. Yeah, so that's it with his other load of firewood. So yes, the first day I was here 2 weeks ago, after encountering Pocahontas in the capital city on Christmas Eve when my motorcycle broke down. Our relatives has a small motorcycle shop there that took a day and a half to fix my bike. And she helped her sister. I was bought some food there, and she told me a little of her family, and she invited me down to meet her father and her mother and her large extended family. Her father has actually 24 children, Lion Eagle, and this is with his first marriage, and with Esmeralda Ethel. He's had, I think it's 18 total, and now there's 14 of his daughters living, and Pocahontas is number 2. And Anna Luce, Anna Light, her name, she lives in the next city. She's the oldest. I'm just jabbering here now, just to welcome you on our hike. This gentleman is... ¿Cuántos años tiene? ¿Cuántos años tiene?
62.
He's... Vaya, camina. Frisco he's 62, and he's got about 100 pounds of firewood on his back. He's in great shape. They could use more nutrition. That's why we're luchando, working towards growing moringa. Those of you who have never heard of moringa, I encourage you to do a Google search on moringa, Moringa. And also, while you're at it, study genetically modified foods and corn plants and the detrimental effect of these new inventions that are having and will continue to impose on food supply of the earth. This is Lion Eagle's home, and there's his granddaughter. Hola, Marinela. She's sitting on my bike. She loves my bike. That's Pocahontas' daughter. Hey, Coronel. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué está haciendo? ¿Qué está haciendo? ¿Qué está haciendo? Hágalo.
Sí.
Hágalo. ¿Qué está haciendo?
Esquejiles.
Oh, he's filing. He's using a rock to file. Hello.
Está ocupado.
He's filing. ¿Cuál es tu herramienta?
Ayúdeme.
¿Cuál es tu herramienta? ¿Cómo se llama esta herramienta?
Sí.
¿Para qué?
Le estoy sacando punta.
¿Para qué?
Para tujar maíz.
Ah, this is his tool for...
Estoy sacando la punta.
For working with the corn. Oh, I'm going to continue down. This is the peel, the small peel that was made where they wash clothes. This is the smaller peeler that was made recently by the Pocahontas' son. This is where the ladies wash clothes here. And this tube comes. This is all there. There's a river creek here where the plan is to plant lots of bananas and papayas and clean out the rocky areas and make a pen for the chickens because they roam too freely now. They tear everything up with their feet. So this small half-inch tube that's getting old and got leaks everywhere, running from the well on this property that is used by 4 or 5 different homes in the upper area of this small village for water. So they come here 6-7 months out of the year to haul water in buckets to their peelers in their home. As you can see, most of the creeks around here have no water. This one has water because it's birthing from the ground. It's not abundant with springs like Richardson Springs, where many things bubble from the ground there. But, this property has one, and it's been a blessing for generations and generations of Indians that are now having their lifestyle threatened by modern technology and their ways of life and the scourge of alteration of crops. So this is the well. Here's where water births as well. They used to have a lot more water up through there, another few hundred feet. There's another birthing place of water. But the owners of the land up there, they cut a big tree that those trees actually draw water. So the water's been not as abundant as it used to be. So we want to plant lots of moringas around here, trees to help clean the soil. And here's another pila that was made. The idea is that this pila hasn't been used yet. This water is to draw water in buckets from here and to throw it in here and to have another tube, as you can see this tube, running down to the pila at the house, because this well is a little bit lower than where the house is. So we're considering ways of getting water to the house without having to haul water. So the idea, as you saw in the other video, is a hand operated pump, and to build a structure here about 10 feet high with 4 posts on top of the well, and a platform, and there we'll build the homemade water pump, and then run a 1-inch tube to the pila at the top of the house, not the small pila you just saw earlier where the gentleman was filing his tool. And then it'll also have a roof and be encaged in with chicken wire and smaller wire to keep the leaves from blowing in, because the leaves get in the well and pollute the well and makes the water a hookah smell really quickly. So to put a roof over it. Plus it needs to be accessible, because the well has to be cleaned out periodically, so we can't cover the well totally. So there's a glimpse of this beautiful land owned for generations by the Indians, and just praying that those who have an ear to hear will, and the ability to pray and invest and develop this beautiful property. This was in California and Canada. It would be an oasis, a park, shall we say, that people would want to come and visit just to look at. You can grow everything here, any kind of tropical plant or food or fruit. They just lack the education and the positive use of modern technology to preserve the old ways of life. Right here is another piece of land where they grow sugar cane and bananas. The bananas, because there's no rain this season, not doing too well, so we want to get more bananas down near the water source so that they can be irrigated all year long. There's a few papaya trees too. I just putting about 200 papaya seeds drying now, and little by little, God willing, put them in bags and get to producing. Papayas harvest for 3 years, and you have to keep replanting. It's not like a long-term tree, but the results and the fruit is delicious. Sweet papaya and oranges, various styles of orange trees, and all kinds of fruit I don't know how to describe, but very healthy. So, push pause again here now. Until the next time we meet again. And we meet again. There's Pocahontas and her daughter sweeping. And I'm heading to the city now on my motorcycle. Oh, this is the well, by the way. This is the lower well down there. This is the upper one, Pila, where we carry. I've been the last 2 weeks lugging water buckets in my 2 5-gallon buckets, filling this up every day or every couple of days. And so where we just were, hola, where we were with this well up here just a few moments ago, and that's where we want to put the water pump elevated so it'll be above the gravity line so we can just gravity feed this pump here. We build it high enough. The idea is also to acquire a plastic lightweight water tank to build on stilts above the roof line of the house, so that they can have running water instead of always dipping water out to wash dishes, so they can actually put a sink back here because this is back here. Here's a silo for the corn. It's not in use right now because the corn is being harvested. And a silo is silo in Spanish. And this is the outdoor cooking area. This is where they bake bread at times. And it's the kitchen. This is where at 4 o'clock this morning I was helping grind corn for the 20-year-old who works on a nearby plantation of watermelons and melones, cantaloupe. This is an old ancient table, a couple hundred years old. It's used to cook and bake bread, and the working table. Here's the outdoor stove for cooking. We want to install a kitchen area here as well with a sink and running water. So maximize time and washing dishes. And the chicken coop down below here is where 5 cows will be coming in a few weeks. I think we're going to build an area over in that area for the cows under those big hundreds-of-year-old mango trees, and use this area for growing crops because it's very fertile for the years of having the cows there. So we're just vocal little by little, considering the best way to maximize and to make the best use of this lovely property here in the middle of the Western Hemisphere. Blessings on you all.